just the top teams in this league. So, you know, you just have to take a breath, and you have to keep working, and you have to kind of understand competition and not get too crazy about it.
Lonnie White, the takeaway. Takes it right at Collins. Couldn't get the finish. Collins comes down with the rebound. To your point, that loss against Kansas State, they were dominated on the boards, minus 26. My goodness. And Coach Gerlich was very honest about why the deficit was that. And then the other challenges they had in Provo with turnovers. In the last 2 games, they didn't do a great job defending the 3. Now they've held Utah to 0 for 12 from deep. So as strange as it was to see them play the way they did against Kansas State, you know, the depth, every conference wants to claim to have depth and parity. But with this conference, it's certainly there.
Well, it is real. And, you know, they go with a little clear out with Collins, and she's forced to go right. Unfortunately, Avery fouls that jump shot, because one of the things that you have to do with a player who is a great player, but you feel has at least one thing that you want to be sure that one style, one direction that you at least want them to work, and then they get that, and when that player goes right, you got to have help at the rim. So you know you're playing team defense against the layup if you have to cheat a little bit. You get her to take that short jumper that does not go in, and you foul her as she's taking that shot.
69-38 the score. Collins now with a game-high 28. Smooth take, L.A. Snee.
Good aggressive take. You know, keep playing hard and get better at your game, and that's a piece of LA's game that Utah really needs. At her size, it's not going to get any easier for her to finish at the rim. So she does have areas where she needs to learn how to explore with her dribble and not just explode with it, so that she can come under control at times and not take on post kids and be able to play some in-out ball to the shooters that she knows are sitting out at the three-point line.
Maupin smooth on the mid-range jumper. And it's 71-40. And for Maupin, 13 points in the game now. For Texas Tech, rebounding has been an issue here and there throughout the season. For Utah, they've beaten their opponents on the boards in 12 straight games. Tonight, it's +5 for Texas Tech. Evans around Malone. Stonewalling defense by Jada Malone. Nunez screaming on the left side of the lane, finishes that. And the barrage continues from Texas Tech as they have just been in command from the very beginning. Maddie Wilkie an open look, and Utah finally has a triple on the night. They're 1 for 13.
First one, yep, and set up exactly like you want to by your point guard. She gets the ball into the paint, draws help, plays in out from there, and sets up the best shooter for the 3. Unfortunately, the transition then on defense just isn't there.
Well, was Maupin on the other end. Gavin Peterson calling for a 30-second timeout. We take a look at that 3, and as you mentioned, it's what they want, breaking the paint and a good look.
Well, and off the make, I've not seen, you know, sort of, I'm not recalling that I can see sort of who didn't bother to transition, but you've got a made at one end, and you give up a layup at the other end. That means you're not here. You're not doing your jobs, and you've got to be responsible and held responsible for playing hard no matter the circumstance every minute of every game.
And in this performance tonight from Utah, something just did not feel right from the very beginning. Credit Texas Tech, who obviously has had it stuck on automatic tonight, but Utah with some really bizarre turnovers, some odd-looking offensive possessions.
Well, you and I are spending, obviously, a long evening sort of talking about their performance, but that's not something that you want to see them. I mean, it can be condensed into a couple things, and those are the things that they're going to want to just, you know, deal with, and just be sure that they pay attention to the next opportunity. And if these kids are anything like a college competitor is, I know how this feels, and they are just, this game's going to be over, and they are going to not be able to wait till Tuesday night at 7 o'clock to get a chance to just get rid of the nasty feel.
Maupin launches short. Rebound, Sanogo. An easy putback layup. And for Sanogo, she now has 6. The lead is up to 77-46. We hope you join us for that game. Broadcast at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on ESPN+. The Mountaineers and the Utah Utes. The Mountaineers great with getting takeaways. Exciting to see their brand of ball here at the Huntsman Center. Nasty collision.
Well, we hope what you don't want is anybody getting hurt down the stretch for either team. You just don't want this to happen.
Take a look at this again. Sanogo trying to close out, went airborne. And Sneed and Sanogo colliding out by the 3-point line. And Sneed is still down. And so is Sanogo.
Yeah. Well,
step aside quickly. Texas Tech up 77-46. Well, there was a hush over the Huntsman Center for a few minutes there as L.A. Sneed, who was laying down, was eventually moved to her back, and now sitting up and being attended to right now. Nasty collision between Sanogo and also Sneed. Sanogo has been helped to the Texas Tech bench, but Sneed has still been down.
It does look like it's sort of neck area, just in terms of what they seem to be looking at. I know they called the doctor pretty quickly to get in there and not take any chances with it. So we will just certainly hope that this isn't something that's going to cost either player problems. I think it looks like Collins is going to be fine, and this is the kind of thing in that area that you probably just wait for and see over time if she's going to be okay.
Great work by the staff from both teams. There was an extra look by the officiating crew just in case. There was nothing additional that they saw. It was just simply a hard basketball play, and tough to see L.A. Sneed take the shot, and she will make her way now to the locker room. The Huntsman Center giving her support and love, and we're hoping she'll be okay going forward.
You really do. You just don't want kids to lose game time with injuries, and we hope that that's not going to be the case for LA. It's a quick turnaround with the Tuesday night game, so that doesn't give a lot of time to kind of see if there's time even for sort of a natural time frame to get looseness back or things like that. The good part, the only good part of that play was a really nice shot fake by LA. I hate that it cost her, because that 3-point shot fake is a pretty important part of a team that wants to shoot a lot of threes, is being able to show that thing instead of taking contested threes, to get somebody up in the air and out of the way, and then see what it opens up.
Foul is called on Reese Ross. The ball will go to Texas Tech. And to your point, Gavin Peterson and everybody in this program so excited about L.A. Sneed with her potential 5-star player from San Antonio, 1,000-point scorer, also had 500 assists, and just, did a little bit of everything from steals to, just individually great defense time after time, and you can just see her involvement. So tough to see her exit the game. But you mentioned the big grin from a guy like Gavin Peterson talking about young players. He especially has that when he talks about Sneed.
He does. She has come a long way in the short time of her first season at the college level. So I just think it's a fun thing to do. And when you have young players and you build a program with young players, you go through growing pains. But you also, if they're the right young kids, and he loves the next group of young kids he's got coming in, you have so much to look forward to as they grow up.
More on the game tonight. Let's head on down to Sammy Miller.
Now for Texas Tech, they have a special post-game tradition this season where they name their Lady Raider Dominator, who the coaches decide as the player of the game, and they get a huge chain plus a big Red Raider stuffed animal whose name is Mo. Now Mo stands for momentum, and head coach Krista Gerlich says that they always want the momentum on their side. So whoever gets Mo that night, they have to make sure that they take good care of him, bringing that momentum to their next game. And something tells me it may be Snutta Collins that is grabbing Mo in the locker room tonight.
I think you're right on point, Sammy, no doubt. And Snutta will make sure to take very good care of Mo. She hit a few shots tonight. You might get a stuffed animal for her. She was outstanding right from the very beginning.
Yeah, just a really fine player, and you know, just a phenomenal night for her.
Just over a minute left to play here in regulation. The Texas Tech Red Raiders are going to pick up their 20th win of the season. For Coach Gerlich, a player who helped Texas Tech reach heights they had never witnessed before, and were on the doorstep of a national championship as the runner-up. You obviously coached against her team, and now for her to have the opportunity to coach this program. You mentioned it, when something is personal to an athlete and a coach, just how big of a difference it makes, and you can tell it's so personal for her with Red Raider Nation.
Absolutely. I think it's just a great opportunity to be able to hire somebody, come back and have the ties with the community like that, and really her whole upbringing with West Texas, I think is wonderful.
And I think it's also a similar comparison with what you see with Morgan Scally in Utah football. Jumpstead out of the corner for three. And they reset the game clock to 21. Utah, their first 12 from the outside, now 3 of their last 4. Texas Tech Red Raiders, big expectations. Hit the ground running to start this regular season. And the non-conference as well. Built out the best start in their program's history. Hit a few speed bumps recently, but picked up right where they were after that 19-game win streak to start. Back to business for Krista Gerlich and also the Texas Tech Red Raiders. They soundly beat Utah 77-49.
Well, they're the lesson in how you come back. This game was wonderful for them. They played exceptionally well, and that is the lesson to be taken back to Utah tomorrow when they regroup, is the idea that this stuff happens. You can have letdowns, and you can come back from those.
For Krista Gerlich, she really challenged her team to respond the right way. Didn't like the way they played in the K-State loss. Wanted to play better than they did, obviously, in the loss against BYU. And they put on their best early and often. And Snutta Collins with a career-high 28. That has to be an amazing feeling.
Yes.
After you lose the way you have recently and you get back to being the best of who you are.
It absolutely is. They couldn't have done anything better for themselves than come here and just really pull out all the stops and be ready to play, and mostly just be so interested in changing their trajectory. That's what you need.
Well, Snutta Collins was on the money, so Sammy Miller, she's with Snutta Collins.
Snutta, Coach Gerlich told you all to come into this game and play with more desperation. How do you think that helped fuel you all to this dominating win?
I mean, this team already hold ourselves to a high standard. The last 2 games, we wasn't playing in our identity, and I think this game was a big statement win for us, and we just wanted to come back and redeem ourselves from those last 2.
And you all are one of the top defensive teams in the country, and tonight you showed why. So what allowed you all to completely shut down Utah's offense?
Just staying true to ourselves. Like I said, the last 2 games we wasn't staying true to ourselves. This game we came back and showed that this is what Texas Tech women's basketball do.
And you completely took control of this game, a career-high 28 points, with 20 of those points coming in the first half. So what allowed you to take complete control of this game, not only in the first half, but continued in the second as well?
I have very, very high standards for myself. When I feel like I'm not playing well, I get in the gym, I try to get extra work in, and today was just a result of that.
And what do you think the biggest key adjustments that you made that has allowed you to perform so well in these past 2 games?
just staying aggressive, not second guessing, just staying aggressive and be attack ready every time.
Thank you so much. Congrats on the win.
Thank you, Sammy. Well, Coach, back to the drawing board for Utah, but if you're Texas Tech, Raider Red and company feel great about this performance as they go forward.
Well, they should. I think they really responded, and all kudos to them for that. And I think this, gives them what they want heading into now near that last part of the middle into the last part of the Big 12 if they want to compete for that championship.
Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight. All games airing on the ESPN Network, streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. For Sammy Miller, the Hall of Fame coach, Elaine Elliott, our entire crew, I'm Tony Park saying good night from the Hudson Center. This has been a presentation of college basketball on ESPN.